Hi, and welcome to this live reading from Neve Keane, Things Unseen Series Book 2 by Anise Eden, and this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Prologue, Sierra, 1 month ago. Cold, hard, rough. That was the sum of Sierra's awareness, the surface she lay upon pressing its imprint into her back. She willed herself to focus. The air was chilled and damp against her face, clinging to her hands and forearms, but the rest of her was shielded by a cloth. It felt soft, loose-fitting. Some quality of the flow of the air or the thinness of the silence around her spoke of its spaciousness. Was she just waking up? But her eyelids wouldn't open, and when she tried the rest of her body, nothing would move. The splinter of worry. The question tried to form in her mind, but it was like a wisp of fog, vague and constantly changing. Maybe she should just try to enjoy the quiet, the feeling of space around her. The sound of water drifted into her awareness, lapping rhythmically against a hard surface, lulling her into a deeper state of calm. Clouds of thought drifted further away, unimportant. Then a jolt, the sound of a sharp click, metal on metal. The tromping of heavy shoes on stone, one pair, then others. The rackety clatter of hard wheels rolling against a hard, uneven surface. Again, she struggled to open her eyes, but to no effect, as though her will was submerged too deeply underwater to reach the surface. Questions finally started to take shape in her mind. Where am I? What's going on? There were no answers, though, only air swirling in chaos as feet shuffled around her. The people were close enough now that she could feel their warmth. Who are they? What do they want? Tentacles of fear slid around her chest. Her breathing came faster, harder. Still, her body would not budge. The feet stopped moving. Someone stood at her head, someone at her feet. The person with the wheeled object came to a stop at her side. A soft caress brushed across her forehead, followed by a man's voice. She's definitely out. But not any man's voice. Her boyfriend's. Max. Her breathing slowed. Max was there, and he believed she was asleep. His voice was smooth, unconcerned. There must be no need to worry. She tried again to move, to speak, to tell Max she heard him, but she could not. The tension in her chest tightened a notch. Two warm hands rested on the tops of her feet, squeezing lightly. For how long? A woman's soft voice asked. Deidre. Are you sure she won't feel anything? Her best friend was there with Max. Whatever was happening, she was safe, at least. Once she was able to move, to speak, all her questions would be answered. Maybe she was just asleep having a vivid dream. Relax, Max said to Deidre, but Sierra tried to obey. She heard a soft click, then a mechanical hum. A hand grasped her left arm and rotated it until her palm faced up. It felt perfectly smooth, like a nurse's rubber-gloved fingers. Something cold and wet was spread across the underside of her forearm, rubbing alcohol, judging by the sharp scent stinging her nose. Two cool fingers gently stretched the skin. Suddenly, sharp pain shot into a pinpoint on her arm near where the fingers touched her. Sierra wanted to jump, jerk her arm away, cry out, but her body remained stubbornly immobile, beyond her influence. Paralyzed. Was she in a hospital then and someone was inserting an IV? But with the pricking sensation came a steady vibration. The pain was drawn along her arm in a line like a cat scratch, but slow and deep. Now questions slammed into her mind with force and clarity. Where am I? What's going on? Again, she tried to shout, but no sound came. Panic gripped her. She couldn't move her lips. Max spoke again. This won't take too long. Then her arm began to burn, right along the scratched lines. Sierra's heart lurched in her chest. Max and Deidre must not know she was in pain. She had to find a way to tell them, to make it stop. With a massive surge of effort, she flung her right arm across her body. Her hand landed on the inside of her left arm, knocking away the rubber-gloved fingers and their torture implement. Life flowed back into her arms, and she began to tear at the painful skin, trying desperately to peel away the offending layers to stop the burning. "Sierra," a man's voice shouted, but not Max's. Emmon, her now fiancé. This time, her eyelids obeyed her command to open. His face was just in front of hers, twisted with worry. Emmon's here. Her heart swelled with gratitude and relief. Max was in the past. Thank God. Frantically, Emmon's hands patted her cheeks, gripped her shoulders. "Sierra, wake up." Her eyes followed Emmon's gaze down to her left forearm. It was a bloodied mess. She looked around her and saw she was sitting on the floor in their bathroom, slumped against the tub. Blood was smeared on the white porcelain, the gray floor tiles, the pale wood cabinet under the sink. And the skin on her arm screamed in pain, felt like it had been clawed off. "Oh," she gasped at the intensity of it. "Emmon, help," she whispered. "I'm here, Sierra." Careful of her wounded arm, he folded her body against his. "It's okay. I'm here."